So I bet you'd love to hit bullet straight shots or tiny dropping draws. I know I certainly would like to, certainly on a consistent level. Today I want to talk to you about a journey that I've had with one of my students called Michael, and how we transformed his transition in the golf swing to allow this to happen consistently. Michael's problem was basically in transition, his arms and rotation of his upper body used to move this way, and he didn't get enough lead arm compression, as I would call it, in that transition area. And there was a simple drill that we did, which costs very little money in terms of equipment, will give you some kinesthetic feels instantly that will improve how your arms work in that transition area. Let me share what we did. So this is the key bit of equipment, a water wing, armband, whatever you want to call it. We put this on his lead arm. This was the key. So this one's a roll-up one, and I suggest if you buy one, you buy a roll-up one, because when you're putting it on, you just roll it up that arm and it's easy peasy. Now, when it's on your arm, you want it pretty much towards the top of the arm. Now, what we were looking at with Michael is in the backswing, he tended to have this lead arm compress into his chest too early, getting the arms into a deep shape, get this arm into a very internal position. And from there, then in transition, the arm sprung off his chest and his chest rotated too much also. And Michael's a good player, but he tended to hit some really wild shots while doing this move. He would hit very high, weak right shots. Then he'd hit a bullet one that would go 200 yards with a 7-iron straight left. Now, Michael has lots of speed. He's an athletic guy. So we weren't trying to add speed or do anything with this. We were trying to constrain and get him in the right transition to get that golf club to deliver the correct loft every time, rather than being kind of spinning this way and then reacting and then deliver toe strikes and open faces, which gave him his most destructive shot, which is high, weak right with all clubs. So having this water wing on, what we looked at was trying to feel it had as little contact as possible in the backswing, and in downswing we felt it compress and push into his chest, and we felt that the chest didn't move too much. So it was little contact to compression. And just wearing this water wing and just doing that exercise whilst hitting shots was the real game changer for his transition. All of a sudden, the centre of the mass in the club started to work behind the hands, which is what we see with all great players. All of a sudden, he started to rotate through the golf ball and shift and move his weight and pressure the right way without us talking about it, mentioning it. It was a freebie because of how his arms were working. So effectively what happened is in that transition area, he had more right side bend from moving the arm the right way. And then from there, you had to turn onto the golf ball and deliver the loft correctly. So the control of the loft, the control of the arc of the swing improved through this one drill. Now, this water wing can be used for so many other things as well. So don't think, okay, my left arm compression is good, I don't need to buy a water wing. I've got other videos featuring what it does for the right arm. We can also use the writing on the water wing to look at the rotation within the arms, which is pretty cool too. And again, it's not expensive, it doesn't get too much in the way. But what we got him to do was feel like he hit some golf balls, no contact, contact. And just feel that he would build those swings up from very small swings to longer swings, feeling that he could create that kind of lead arm pressure. Now, the lead arm pressure or the lead arm connection, I think, often gets misunderstood. Lots of golfers feel that they have to connect the arm as much as they can in the backswing, but then what happens is these arms tend to go too deep. So we're trying to make sure these arms go deep. This elbow stays in this shape, which is what we call more external versus internal. That allows the arm to work down in the right place on the way down. So effectively in his backswing, he was putting himself in the position where his arms could only move the incorrect way to make up for what they were doing in the backswing. So it was kind of a death move. And just using this armband or water wing, we tend to call it armbands here in the UK, was the real difference for him to feel that instantly what he was doing. I could tell him what he was doing, but because he couldn't feel it, it was kind of, okay, I think I'm doing this differently, I think I'm doing it better, but obviously he wasn't. So being able to change this one thing, this one move, this conceptual idea, but also give him some feels that match the conceptual idea, was the key, and again I use that word again, game changer, to allow his transition to change. And the transition for me is a huge area in the golf swing. If we can get the transition right, even with a not correct backswing, we can make things work. And making things work is all we're here to do. If we can make things work repeatedly and consistently, we're happy golfers and we go on our way. So the process and the program would be that you'd start off with some small swings like I just did then, and you build it up to full swings with the water wing on. And then you try and hit probably 20 balls in a row with the water wing on, and then you do 5 or 6 shots without it on, and then probably put it back on for 3 shots and back off for 3 shots and so on. That's the best way of you retaining the feels and transferring those swings to the golf course. As you know, I always talk about using your swing and trying to feel that we influence your swing rather than change your swing by doing these exercises. It's not a case of swing A or swing B and which do I take to the golf course, because you'll play miserable if you try and think that way. We've got to try and just practice a little bit, then go with a swing thought, and it might be a thought that I'm going to compress my arm in transition while you play, and that's the swing that you take to the golf course. So we want to feel that we get this move right to play better golf. Now, because the greenkeeper's got there, I'm just changing my club to a shorter club, and I'm going to try and hit a full swing now with this water wing on, but I don't want to make sure I can't reach that greenkeeper. So let's try and feel no contact to contact. And that felt to me like a figure of 8, because again, my swing is not perfect. I often get some comments saying, well, your golf club didn't shallow, didn't do this. And quite often it won't, because my golf swing is what my golf swing is. I haven't been out here practicing hitting 20 or 30 balls with this object on to try and show you this. This is me naturally trying to use these feels and trying to relay to you guys how that felt to me. So it felt like a figure of 8, it felt very different. I'm looking forward to seeing it back, and I'm hoping it improved my golf swing as much as it did Michael's. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to learn from my 30 years experience coaching and the journeys I've gone with players and how they tell me it feels, to try and help you lower your scores and play better golf.